Hi, good afternoon. This is Vlog entry 175, and it's about 2 p.m. CST. Um, been quite busy, sort of, kind of. I've been spending a lot of time scouring the city for grunt work mainly, because I actually do have to find a job. Unfortunately, it was fun. While it lasted. It was fun while it lasted, not having to be that busy except for in my own head. But when push comes to shove, you have to be somewhat useful to the system, and so I've been looking around and I've been applying to just a lot of places, and I've been using Google mainly because it's a lot better as an aggregating comparison to LinkedIn and also Indeed and all the other websites and whatnot. It's a lot more efficient with Perplexity, and I found quite a few things, especially seasonal work and whatnot, because again, I'm still waiting for the city to kind of put me in on their onboarding process, and it's just taking too damn long. And I like to be not pessimistic, optimistic, and assume that they're going to hire me because I think that my skills translate into the job nicely. But I can't wait, unfortunately. So I'm here looking for another job that I can just yoink for a little bit. Um, yeah, and I've done barista stuff, and I may just work at a cafe for a little bit. I found a few close to street, a few blocks away from me. It's one of the more commercialized areas, and it's slow during the winter, so it's going to be pretty chill for the most part. I mean, aside from weekends, because people like going into cafes during the winter, and maybe after work. I don't know if people like doing that because people tend. It depends. Like you get a lot of remote workers as well. People who have hybrid jobs and whatnot, and they like to go to cafes and just work outside of their own place. So it depends. Yeah, I mean, I found a few cafes and whatnot that were hiring for baristas and even night cooks. I have a Serve Safe certificate, so if I have to, I can. Um, Aside from looking for a job, again, I just haven't been doing anything. I've been playing Guild Wars 2 every once in a while, and I change the skin on my engineer. So I did that, and I've been trying to program, but my head's been kind of everywhere. Have my coffee as usual. I didn't really show it in the camera, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's been okay for the most part. Um, It's been okay for the most part. I've also been looking at different positions for dock attendants that was a seasonal job I was looking at under a company that tends to own that owns basically all the harbors in the city, and I think it would be kind of fun to have a summer job that's either part time or full time during the summer. Uh, just being around a dock and helping people with their boats and whatnot. And yeah, so I think that would be kind of fun. So I did apply for a few dock attendant positions for the summer. Um, I'm actually hoping that I could get a job for that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and it really just depends on the cycling process that they go through for seasonal workers, because it varies between company to company or from municipality to municipality. I don't even know if I said that right. That's a word. Uh, but yeah, it varies between entity, depending on, of course, you have your own use cases for that. I'm not sure how many people they're going to be rehiring from the season before, so we'll see how many new people are going to be cycling in. And out of the pool of new people, I think I have a fairly likely chance of being hired because, again, I'd have a lot of transferable skills and experiences because I have worked at a marina and a park where they had a boat slip. They didn't necessarily have a harbor, but they had dry storage and whatnot. This would be wet storage because it's on a harbor, and they actually put all those boats from the harbors into a dry storage slip at the end of the summer because the water it freezes over, and I'm not sure exactly why, because I'm assuming they don't need I don't what's a good reason behind them taking it out other than that? I don't know. But yeah, so I think it's because the water freezes over or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows why. But yeah, so I've been looking at that. And again, I have a lot of options, a lot. It's just having to play the waiting game is the hardest thing for me. And I can't play the waiting game forever. So I may just get a part-time cafe job, and then I'll work 2 positions during the summer, most likely. Most likely. And then I looked at the standard stuff like Walgreens, Target, all the stuff that most people think of the first time around, right? And I don't know. So most of them don't really see. I mean, what are you going to expect, right? As a service job, you're not going to expect much from it. Um, but I kind of want to go to like I don't know. I kind of want something that's a little bit more uh, unique, and so I'd rather walk around the city and see if there's anybody hiring, even though it's still getting closer to the end of winter. So hopefully they'll be hiring new people by March for cafes and whatnot because they're going to need more bodies when it warms up, of course. And yeah, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I mean, I still have plenty of money. It's just like, I don't want to drain my last bit of assets on things that were kind of my fault for not being proactive about finding a job, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot, and it's just every time I look at my notebook, it's just a spattering of ideas that aren't necessarily completely baked. Uh, yeah, so they're not like fully fleshed out thoughts, and that's why I write it down. And I used to actually cross them out and then talk to them in videos and whatnot, but I don't know. I've been kind of feeling they've been feeling kind of dry in comparison to how they used to be and whatnot. But I don't know what I mean by dry, but yeah, there's a slight drought in my head. But it is what it is because I think my headspace is kind of, I guess you could say, my mind or my brain is more stressed as of now, and it's worried about money and all that stuff and being more practical as opposed to being up in my idea slash fantasy realm. So it is what it is. I can't do that always, so I keep moving my head away from the camera. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I again, like I'm not out here becoming homeless. It's just like some financial strifes that I have to be practical about, unfortunately. I wouldn't say unfortunately, I think this is a good lesson for me because I never had to do this myself. This is my first go round when it comes to being practical about my finances and budgeting and all that. So I think this is a good experience to go through for anybody, really. Although, like, I mean, I could have made my life a lot easier, but I like a little bit of strife in my life. And it makes things a little bit exciting. And I don't know, my life was mundane when it was too easy, so I felt like making it a little bit more challenging. And that's by putting myself in precarious situations. Yeah, so I don't know. I get bored easily, unfortunately. It's always been an issue of mine. So I try my best not to get bored of this world, but which is why I read a lot, like physics, and I do computer science stuff every once in a while, and I have a bunch of math books to solve problems and whatnot, just to keep my mind relatively busy, because this world kind of moves really goddamn slow at times, and I just tend to just be in my head because of that. Like, I just stay in my head because most of the world, if I externalize my senses, there's not much. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of things going on, but at the same time, I've kind of integrated my knowledge of the world that I'm in as of now. Aside from, I don't know, I'm being more practical about my money, I guess. And I mean, there are a lot of other endeavors I can go to. I could be a little bit more ambitious. I could start my own business and all that, and I don't think I'm really in the right headspace for that as of now. And I'm thinking about going back to college and trying that out again to see how that goes, and worrying about finances and learning how to invest. And there's this guy named Martin Shkreli on YouTube that's very knowledgeable about that kind of stuff, and I think he has multiple businesses. A lot. I'm not sure how many he has now, but I've heard of a few, like Girdle something, that's like some pharmaceutical company, or I don't know. I just know of him, and I know he's smart when it comes to finances, and I think he used to work for a hedge fund, and he's really into chemistry, biology, and pharmaceutical stuff slash finance. So he's just a generally smart guy. And so I kind of I could learn a lot from him. So I think I subscribe to his channel just to see. I think he even has like a whole course on. I don't know, I like science as well, and I want to reacquaint myself with chemistry and biology, so I may look at his courses in that because he also likes that stuff. And and now he's in the artificial intelligence realm, and now he's trying to start an artificial intelligence business, and he seems to be doing well with that too, because again, he's just a smart guy. He's well-rounded. He's a very intelligent guy. So of course, you wouldn't expect anything less from him. So I mean, yeah, I may look at his courses for finances, and maybe I'll look into his chemistry and biology courses too, because Not really into the biology stuff. I am not. I mean, it's okay, but most of it's like rote memorization. There's not much theory. It's just the reason why it's more rote memorization as opposed to theory, it being conceptual, is because the lower layers like chemistry and physics tend to be more abstract and theoretical as opposed to. Well, okay, I take that back. Actually, they there are a lot of abstract things pertaining to protein folding. Even though artificial intelligence tends to do that pretty well nowadays, and protein folding seems to be a big puzzle that people are still trying to figure out, and how to create new proteins out of kind of manipulating strands or whatever. Just it's because these proteins have particular functions based on how they are three-dimensionally manipulated and whatnot, and they use artificial intelligence for that. And they had what was it, Cas5 or something? Isn't that like some kind of protein folder that they created, and then they had, and then eventually AI came in and then it found better ways to protein fold to create different functions for those proteins or some shit like that. I don't know. Why am I thinking about that? Oh yeah, because I was thinking about biology and its theoretical bases as opposed to it being, it's still mainly like if you take a biology 101 course, I don't think there's any math. Like it's like, so it's kind of boring. Like it's not a puzzle. It's just rote memories. It's just like history, right? Of course, it requires critical thinking, right? Like anything else, but a lot of it's just observing and classification and data collection, and of course you still have statistics and creating hypotheses and all that stuff too. Yeah, you have to have a somewhat good understanding of hypothesis testing and understanding the scientific method, but aside from that, it's not really mathematical as much as I'd like it to be. I mean, statistics is cool and all, it's practical, but it's not as interesting as other stuff. There are some things, like I guess Bayes' theorem is cool for probability, but then you wouldn't be using that. It's just again another rote memorization thing. It's utilized to help understand probability more and whatnot. So it's not like, yeah, I don't know. It's just not that interesting to me. I prefer to, even like chemistry. It's like there's physical chemistry. That's a lot of math, and so I mean, physical chemistry, of course, is very mathy. It has a lot of calculus, and you have to understand the equilibrium equations, and there's like something to do with derivatives and all that. And now I wouldn't understand why, but I think they probably analyze these complicated systems through energy deviations or something. So energy deviations would naturally be using calculus to understand the instantaneous rate of change of these things. And of course the opposite of that would be integrals and whatnot. And yeah, so I could see why it could be applied, but I wouldn't have a good idea of why, because I have never really had to study physical chemistry before. But it seems cool. I mean, yeah, I guess so. But I like physics more. But then when I think about physics, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. There's just so many things that I tend to be interested in. It's kind of hard to focus on one thing, which is fine, but I like to let my mind go into different places and just let it do as it pleases, because I don't know. I mean, I could eventually probably get into a consultant position, but I'm not in the right place as of now due to again, there are a lot of like stressors and my current position and my headspace. It would be hard for me to access higher functions of the brain, although I can still, I mean, like obviously I'm not like in complete flight or fight mode, but I can still, I still have cognitive faculties that are taken from my circumstances. Now, once I actually put myself in a more comfortable position, then that would change, of course, but every time I put myself in a comfortable position, I get bored, apparently. And but the reason why is because the times in which I was in a comfortable position, I just didn't have the drive to create challenges from that comfortable position. Like actually, I don't know, like creating projects, right? Of course, that's where you create challenges for yourself, because it's not. It creates challenges, and you're creating a new goal in which you have to make your brain think that you have to do it through discipline and just generally being consistent and having a routine around creating a product in the world and whatnot. And I just have been so bad at it. So my brain wanted to find different ways to challenge itself, and I was like, well, I guess I haven't had enough of the challenges of life, so why not put myself in a place where I have to deal with more challenges from life, because I'd never had I was born into an upper middle class family, so I didn't really have much strife to go through when it comes to financial stuff. And I thought I'd try that out, right? In this Earth school that we have here. Why not? It's all a game anyways, right? Why not? Yeah, anyways, I just, that could be self-sabotaging tendencies, and I would agree to an extent. Like, I do self-sabotage quite a bit. I've self-sabotaged in quite a few realms, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's just like a lot of analyzing I'd have to go through, and I mean, like, I have a notebook for that, and a lot of it is through just feelings of inadequacy because I never taught myself how to be disciplined. Now I'm in a world where everybody that was that had to go through strife, whether it was like academic struggles or just being in a lower class family or whatever, have cultivated discipline and being able to act from their thoughts at a lower time interval. For me, I never really had to do that because, again, my life has been so goddamn easy. And so I guess that was part of the reason why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to test the waters a little bit to see what it's like to have some kind of strife in my life. And this is my only way, because academic strife seemed non-existent. It was more mundane, and it was not challenging enough for me. So I'll go down the life domain for a little bit until I feel more disciplined, I guess, and then maybe I will be a little bit more ambitious and consistent and creative to do something different that actually impacts the world to a degree. But who knows? I mean, I can't really say much. I may just be one of those people that just exist on this planet and doesn't really change anything, and that's fine too. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being at the lower fringes of society. I don't really care, to be honest, not as of now at least. So it is what it is, right? You can only do so much. I don't know. I think a lot. That's the one thing I'm good at, is thinking and creating systems and being somewhat analytical, and yeah, just being a general problem solver. So I mean, like, if I were put into a system where I could problem solve, and it's not just problem solving, but feeling like it creates an impact in the world because I had to align my values with my skills and my talents like anybody else, right? If you want to feel whole, at least, of course, it's fun solving math problems, but you still don't have that. That's like a dopamine hit, but it doesn't. After a while, it feels kind of empty, right? And I got some satisfaction from school by solving problems and going to school for math and just solving somewhat difficult problems. And I wouldn't even necessarily say they were difficult, but they were fairly difficult, but they were also insulated. So, and they were within a school environment, and I mean, mathematics is a hard discipline, but after a while, you want something more than that. I don't know. You want something deeper that also kind of puts together your values with your own talents, right? You want those to be together, and there to be some kind of challenge. I know there's probably a book on that. I think I may have seen a book on that somewhere. I think there was like what do they call it? 80,000 hours, where basically the average person's lifetime career is about 80,000 hours. And it's about finding fulfillment from your career and creating some kind of impact in the world, as well as getting some kind of satisfaction from it, whether it's a challenge or it's from like actually aligning with who you are and what you value as a person. So you get enough of both of those from finding careers like that and whatnot. And I'm sure there are quite a few. I just haven't gone through the vetting process of college to put myself in a situation like that. That's always been hard. But I'm probably going to go back to school. Yeah. I think I covered that pretty nicely. I may have missed something. I tend to do that at times where I don't slow my thoughts down enough to give myself time to see if I've covered all the bases. But I usually look back as like, oh, yeah, maybe I did miss some kind of tidbit, but it's whatever. I can't be perfect all the time. I was also thinking, is like another part of my value system is actually helping people. I guess that was like I've been doing a lot of introspection recently, and I really like helping people. That really does make me feel good, I guess would be a good way to say it. It lights me up. So I had to find something like that. I mean, I think I like seeing the real time effects of when I help people and whatnot. Whether it's something that they can't solve themselves, or if they need advice or whatever. That's why consulting positions are also cool, because I can actually see the real time effects. Um, right there, like it's right in front of my face, because you could, I don't know. And of course, there's always tutoring and teaching people things and all that, but I'd rather be a consultant. I'm not good with, I mean, like, I guess I could do tutoring on the side and all that, and helping people with hard things. But, I mean, I just, I think I'd rather give advice to people. It's like, because if you're a teacher, you have to, like, you can't just give them advice. You have to watch them improve, and you have to, like, give real time direction. And I'm not like, I'm a patient person, but I'm not that patient. It kind of depends on the person that I have, and I get picky. So I'd rather be a consultant. I tell them, and I give them a list, give it to them, let them improve after some time through that advice and whatnot, and then they can come back and say it worked or whatever, as opposed to me being there the whole time, right? A tutor has to be there all the time, I guess. And that's why I'd rather do consulting over a tutor position. Although, like, I don't know, I just don't have the patience for that, because, like, you have to, again, tutoring is also, it's very meticulous. It's too meticulous for me. I maybe I'm being too picky, but I really think tutoring is too meticulous for me. Yeah. So, yeah, and yeah, I mean, like, I've just been looking at a lot of things, and I've been trying to balance my life properly through my values, and kind of being with having, like, a higher meaning or purpose with a community, and making myself feel useful to some degree, and utilizing my talents to some degree. While I'm making money and being comfortable, of course. If you mesh all those together, then you have a pretty fulfilling life, even if it isn't as impactful as somebody like, Elon Musk, or, I don't know, like Bill Gates, or Steve Jobs, or whatever. Anybody I'm thinking about, like, tech right now, because that's all I think about. There's probably, I don't know, Warren Buffett. I don't know, like, he's a businessman, but whatever. I'm just trying to think of different examples. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean. Anyways, so yeah, yep. So that's a nice recipe for having a decent life without having to make too much impact. And, of course, I think the bigger the impact, then, of course, the more work you had to put in. So, of course, you'd have to be disciplined, and you have to think about, like, the trade-offs involved. It's like, look at Elon Musk. He's like a slimy, pale slug because he's so goddamn busy trying to change the world. It's like, I'm not sure if I want to be like that. Like, he works 100-hour work weeks, and if that's what you have to sacrifice to make the world different, I'd prefer not to. So I'd rather work within some of the microcosms of my community as opposed to doing that. And that's good enough, and I think I'd be satisfied. So, yeah. So, I mean, like, again, a lot of introspection, just thinking about, like, what I want and whatnot. And, of course, I still don't have an exact idea in mind, but, I'm going somewhere. I'm developing my skills. I'm working within a community for the most part. I'm making friends. I'm generally happy. I'm healthy. I'm stable. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It may not look like it on my face, but I am. It's just, I don't know. I don't show a lot of expressions. I am happy. I'm content right now, but I just don't show emotions all the time. So, yeah. So, yep. Although I do have to make a decision about the school thing. I should make that decision pretty soon if I want to go to school during the fall. So, and again, like, I'm not in a huge rush. So I may even push it back to the winter. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm a laid back person. Like, I'm not. I've always been laid back, and I've honestly, the only time in which I felt like I had to be fast, or, actually be in a rush, is when I was in school, and around other people that felt like they were the same. But it's kind of like a group thing, and once you separate yourself from like those kinds of people, you realize the importance of just having your own time and just kind of enjoying the moment as it presents itself to you, right? And I used to think that maybe copying other people and being like that would give me satisfaction in life, but it ended out not being the case, and that's fine. I'm like, yeah. Honestly, at this point, my own happiness is my main priority. So, yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's all I really have to talk about. I may have missed a lot of random edge cases. I tend to do that a lot because I go through the thought stack and then I forget if I mentioned something or if I didn't, and then I think about it like whatever. I may be repeating myself or whatever, but it's fine. I tend to be scatterbrained at times, and that's cool too. I've been going through a lot, so my brain isn't quite here. I can't hyper focus. Although I've been working out still, sort of. I kind of skipped a couple of days, but that's fine. I may work out. Yeah, I'm gonna work out today. I'm gonna do my standard hit stuff, just to keep myself in a stable state. And I remember the first couple of times I did it, I felt like extremely focused and concentrated, no matter what I was doing. And the things I was doing at that time didn't feel meticulous, and that's always good, right? Or mundane. Sorry. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep doing that. Obviously, it's been helping out with sharpening my focus. So, anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna go.